Hi.
Hi, you've reached Hey Hi. That's interesting.
Hey, hi. Hi, hey.
That's like, oh, hi, huh?
Or yeah, I guess so.
How you doing?
I'm doing very well. How are you doing?
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
All right. Well, I'm glad you called. Maybe we can get something straightened out here, huh?
Well, I don't know, but
if
I thought about it and I looked at a lot of Bill's stuff, and the best I can make of it is it's all semantics in one way, shape, or form in terms of what we're talking about. I think the last time we talked, the idea of a progression of 1, 2, 3 from I'm a reflected image of an image. As an ego, if you would, and the image is a direct reflection of the Godhead at some point in time.
Yeah, that was interesting because you are. I mean, it was a point that should be understood and made when I'm writing my book and when I'm talking and everything. It's like, yes, you can't really separate this. For me, what I've come to realize is you can't pull apart all the little pieces. It just isn't going to work. You can't keep saying there's some ego or some, even if, like you say, change the word to old man or, I mean, we're still, when we do that, we're still not accepting the totality, the allness, the wholeness, the completeness of isness, what is, and of course I always like to use God. God is all, isness is all, identity is all, awareness is all, totality, reality, whatever we want to call it, it's all there is. And that awareness is our identity. It is the self. It's the ego. It's who we are. And it includes, in a sense, it includes even what we keep trying to separate out of it, the old man, the intellect, or all of that is within this perfect wholeness. And for me, it's just, if I begin with who and what I truly am and actually live it, just live it, simply live it. I mean, it isn't complex. You just simply live it. And then you start to see, hey, wait a minute. There really wasn't a problem here all along. That was, I mean, as Bill keeps saying, it's like it's a fiction. And all these teachers, they're all saying it's a fiction. Then why, if it's a fiction, why would we start with a mistake? It just makes no sense. So we don't. So one day you go, okay, I'm not going to begin with a mistake and try to get to a correction. I'm going to begin with the correction. And so that's all that I'm living, knowing, being, loving, giving, sharing. And so when, I was just thinking, my book is going to be, the whole thing is going to be I this and I that, and I and I and I. And it's an I book. And I was like, okay, the non-dualists are going to hate this.
Not the real ones.
Yeah, and yet I need to, and I'm not going to explain anything. I'm just going to throw it out there as it is. No explanation, no semantics, no, this is the way I'm using the term. I just really want, if somebody can feel what I'm saying, for them to feel it. And that's that. Like a piece of artwork, you look at it and you either feel something or you don't, or you read a poem and you feel something or you don't, and that's what I'm going to try to do. But
I guess I've always been sort of, I can see it both ways. I don't necessarily live both ways, but I can sort of see it both ways, and both ways are obviously all ways, where the two have become one again, or haven't become one, they're seen as one again. But I guess just to clarify this in my own mind, and whether this goes any further, I don't know. You're obviously talking from oneness. You're living from.
Yes, I'm also talking from, just like you said, two-ness.
Yeah.
I'm still here, just being sandy, getting dressed and.
Well, the two-ness is part of the oneness.
And the two-ness is so beautiful. This is what was so magic for me, is I get to love the duality. That is a blast. That's where I start going, wait a minute, this is so remarkably beautiful, because I don't have to be some infinite one kind of self that doesn't have a sense of uniqueness and individuality and identity and completeness in being exactly who I am in all my flaws, all my imperfections, all my getting older, all my physical, intellectual, or inability to be intellectual. I mean, it's like all of it, and that's where the joy, the true, the word mastery comes into my mind, but I don't want to say that because it sounds like I'm doing something. But the true gift of this is like, wow, it's so beautiful, because then I get to love rich as rich, and my kids as my kids, and the people that come in my store as who they are, and all their abundant, individual manifestation of beauty, and then the love just starts pouring, and that's what has happened. And I don't know how to speak about it or say it. I just know that I want to give it and share it and say, this is the answer. This is the way to do this, because life becomes so rich and full of every aspect.
Okay. What is the starting point in that?
For me, the starting
or the transition from.
It's so simple. It's God, isness, totality, love, reality, allness, awareness. This very life we're living. This, who we are, including ourselves and including our ego. You see, I have to do that, because if I don't pull that into it, I'm going to remain struggling forever. So even my ego, everything about me, who I am, my flaws, my just struggling to get there, my beautiful self that so wants to be good and right and true, all of me is the allness and totality of God. And then I just go, oh, well, then I'm just going to start loving me just the way I am. And you do it. You actually do it. You don't just think it or say it or look for proof first, or you accept yourself totally and completely the way you are. And in doing that, you begin to integrate. I don't even know if you begin. I mean, it was almost like a flash, like, wow. And then the growing into that, or I guess like eventually you kind of grow. It's slow and it's fast, but anyway, you get that and you start living it. But it begins with such a simple premise that God is all there is. And if that's true, then who or what could be ever outside of that? And then there's nothing outside of that, including every single person, lifetime, experience, every grain of sand, every flower blooming, every star in the Pleiades. I mean, it's all here, and you get to enjoy the whole infinite symphony of it, and any part of that symphony that you want to enjoy. And then it becomes freedom. That's where I began, and that's how it started, and that's how I did it.
Well, it sounds like a top. it sounds like assuming you are what you are, and you end up realizing that.
Exactly. That's simple. And you have to, and that's why I think that's why, that word faith has been so used in religion, and believing has been so used, because there is a sense of you have to walk out into it before it happens. You can't do it. You can't get it first and then trust it. You have to actually try it out. Like you're experimenting, like you're a scientist, and you're going to go, okay, if that's true, it's like you got a theory, you're a scientist with a theory. If that's true, if God really is all, well, how am I going to actually prove it? Or find out if that's actually true without just believing it or out just having faith in it? Or you have to actually prove it. So you have to actually live it. You can't do it any other way. You have to actually live it. And then you go, well, it's working. It's true. And then you're just elated. And then you're just like, oh my God, it's true. It's absolutely true. And as I say, the joy of it was such a surprise because it includes, nothing is left out. That's what's so beautiful. You just go, wow, God really is good. God isn't trying to make me into a saint, or make me into a Buddha, or make me into a void, or make me even into feeling egoless. I mean, this is like my ego becomes the whole world. I mean, how much more beautiful could I be? I mean, the expanse of infinity I am, and I get to be you, and I get to be them, and I get to be all the stuff and the things and the bounty of expressions and images within this self I am, and the love and the sweet people that walk into my life, and the beauty that just keeps pouring in, and you're just going, this is living it. And if the world, if the rest of my world could live this and see it, we would have heaven on earth. It would be what all the avatars, the saints, the Buddhas,